Good day, and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Battle video. So in this video, I'm going to take on the Realm of the Gods category SBR stage. So the one thing about the Realm of the Gods stage, which is pretty different from all the other SBR stages that we've done, is that one, there's multiple enemies in every single fight, which is a bit of a problem. And then two, there's not a lot of good free-to-play options, at least not currently on Global. There's not a lot of great free-to-play cards that you can drop in here. There's the Strength LR Zamasu Goku Black that you can drop in. Then we have the Agility Whis, who's a fantastic option. And then you have cards like Agility Vardos. You have cards like, currently, the Sa Physical Ultra Instinct San Goku, who hasn't got his awakening yet on Global. And then yeah, that's really about it. We don't have a lot of great god units. We have like the Super Saiyan Dimension Super Saiyan Goku, who's okay. He's not too bad, but really we just don't have that great free-to-play units. We are using the Whis here. The Whis is pretty good. So the team that we're rocking double int UI Goku leads before his EZA, because he's currently the worst Realm of the Gods lead. So I thought, might as well use him if we can't use a bunch of free-to-play units. Then we're running a combo of the Agility Rose Goku Black. We should realistically be rocking the Strength Goku Rose. But I thought, let's rock the Agility one because I haven't used him in a while. He recently got his EZA a couple months back, and I thought it would at least be somewhat interesting. Then the other card we're going to run is obviously the free-to-play Dawn of Darkest Justice Zamasu. He's going to run with him as well. And then we'll have Wesker floating on rotation, Agility Whis, Vardos, Int Vardos, and we'll have obviously the two Int Gokus floating around. So the reason I took Int Goku as a friend lead is just to kind of show how the category can be done right now. There's a whole bunch of different strategies you could use. You could use the Jiren strategy, where you just basically stick a whole bunch of USS and Universe 11 Realm of Gods characters like Jiren, Toppo, Baby Strength Jiren, the USS lead Goku, Kaioken Blue, bunch of Vegeta Blues, and you stick them in the team and you roll with it. If you don't want to run with that strategy, there's a Goku Black Future strategy team that you can run. There's quite a few different strategy teams, because you obviously have the Zamasus and the Goku Blacks. You have the Realm of the Gods category USS team units. You've got the Angels and the Cars. So there's quite a few different units you can use. You've got like Demigra and Toa and all of them. So, don't feel restricted by sticking to this team that I show you here. This is just not as best a team. This is a somewhat feasible team that I thought I could come up with that will feature cards that some people can use. So yeah, the first struggle that you're going to have is obviously the fights. All of them have 5 characters, or 4 or 5 characters, which is a terrible time because you have to defend against so many supers. That's realistically the main problem here. That's where Int Vardos is going to come in. So Int Vardos is attack and defense is 60%. She has a high chance of evading enemy super attacks, which is 50% chance. She's got Universe 6, Realm of the Gods, Sibling Bonds, Bonds of Master and Disciple categories, attack and defense raising, and she randomly changes key spears to Rainbow whenever there's a Universe 6 category ally. We don't have a Universe 6 category ally, but more importantly, we do manage to get everything else off of her, and she also seals super attack and lowers attack on her essay, which is super helpful, of course. She is going to be a decent pairing partner and a runner with Angel Whis. Angel Whis starts with key +2 and defense of 100%. He then gains an additional defense of 20% with each attack performed. He has a high chance of launching an additional super attack per turn, which is also 50%. And then when you are 30% or below, he recovers your health fully and has a 70% chance to dodge, which is also very good. The one pairing that we will be running in the other slot, which is a little bit wonky, mainly just because they're lacking significant defense for this fight, is the Dawn of Darkest Zamasu, which is the free-to-play LR. He's got attack and defense of 59%, key +1 with every attack received, and he launches an additional super attack that is an additional attack that has a medium chance of becoming a super attack when facing 2 or more enemies. Plus he gains an additional 20% attack and defense with each final blow delivered. So if you can get some final blows, he's great. If you can't, he's still alright. He still lowers attack and defense on his 12 key, which is good when you're getting all these additionals against multiple enemies. And then he still has the raising of attack and defense for 1 turn on his 18 key. So he is still pretty good. The only problem with him and the AGL Zamasu on the same rotation is that they lack quite a significant amount of defense. Obviously AGL Rose gains his defense with every single hit that he takes, which is not great in SBR because by the time you take 6 hits you might have lost half your health pool, even if you don't get super attack. And yeah, he greatly raises defense for 1 turn on his 12 key, which is pretty good. He lowers defense, which is alright. Lowering defense I do think is underrated, but you know, if he lowered attack and defense, or even just normal lowered them, not greatly lowered them, I think it would just be a bit better, especially with his build up on his defense. And then he gains attack at the start of each turn, and he gives key and attack to all extreme allies. So him running with the strength Zamasu is going to be pretty good. From there, the rest of the team is just the West Kai, who's a great support for the Realm of the Gods category. She is 100% attack and defense. She guards all attacks within the same turn after receiving an attack, which is a very helpful skill to have. And then she gives Realm of the God allies attack 40% and defense 40% and additional chance of crit 10%. I think that's pretty good. She is pretty good. She's got some decent links for the Realm of the Gods team. She's got, you know, Fierce Battle, some shocking speed there. She's got supreme power, godly power, so she's okay, especially if you link her up, you know, with some of the other angel units and Kai units. I mean, she's not going to be, you know, perfect, but she'll share shocking speed with them and godly power, which is pretty good. Gives you a couple bits of key and some attack and defense, so nothing too wrong with her link set. It's pretty good overall. I went for additionals on her just because of that greatly raising. It can really help, especially if, you know, with the type advantage and disadvantage when she's going into things like extreme SBR. It's going to help quite a bit in reducing the amount of damage she can take. Then beyond that, obviously we have our 2 leads. So our 2 leads are the UI Gokus, probably the most frowned upon unit in the game until his recent EZA on JP. But that's okay. He's still gonna perform pretty decent for us. He's obviously a Realm of the Gods, 150% lead. He raises his attack on his super attack, and he's got attack and defense of 100%, and he awakens when below 50%. When he awakens, he's got key +3 and an attack of 150%, and he has a great chance to evade enemies' attack. The great chance being 70%. A lot of people meme him, saying that, you know, he never ever dodges when you need him to. That's just the thing that happens with dodge units. You only ever remember the times they fail, not, you know, the 20 times in a row that they do dodge. So that's just synonymous with RNG. But yeah, so that's the team. It's not doing too badly defensively. It is lacking a little bit in damage, but we do have a decent amount of control with Vardos on rotation and some of our attack lowering. Our biggest Achilles heel is our Zamasu rotation. It just simply doesn't carry the defense that it needs to. Start of turn defense that you need for things like the Realm of the Gods SBR, where you might have 5 super attacks in a turn. They just don't have that. In like 2 turns, 3 turns, once AGL Rose takes some hits, and once Strength, you know, Rose ends up, well, Strength Zamasu Goku, whatever he is, the merged Zamasu Goku body card. You know, once he gets a couple final hits, he basically can become a lot stronger. So it is something that, you know, we do need to keep in mind when we are running that rotation. They are our weak link. That's where you'll see me popping most of these items to try and just keep them from taking damage until they've gotten to the point where they've built up. In these fights, you'll also notice that I take out the weaker enemies first. I'm always taking out like the Crane Hermit here, or I'm taking out the 2 World Tournament antagonists in the first round. This is because I like to lessen the numbers and allow myself to focus on the stronger units, especially with a sealer or two or a stunner on the team. I think it's really good that you can eliminate some of the weaker units and then give yourself more chance to run significant control on the rest of them. So you'll see here we obviously get the super attack from our boy Zamasu Goku, who does pretty well. He did triple super attack in this run, so you can see like where his power lies. He is pretty good and pretty reliable. You know, triple super attacks are going to lower the attack and defense of the opposition quite significantly. Agility Rose as well, you can see he starts off with a very impressive attack stat that is going to be very, very good. Once he takes a couple of hits, he's going to be perfectly fine defensively. If you pop an item, they're not going to have a problem. They're both going to be perfectly fine. Bear in mind, obviously, that my Agility Rose is actually only at 50%, so it is a decent rotation. I just think in terms of extreme SBR and in terms of full efficiency, I don't think that's the rotation to run, especially considering that they're missing the Big Bad Bosses link, which isn't great. And by they missing the Big Bad Bosses link, I mean the Strength LR does not have the Big Bad Bosses link, which is his biggest letdown, because most of the Zamasus and the Roses and the Goku Blacks actually have the Big Bad Bosses link, which, you know, is a big damage and defense buff for the entire team. You take a look at the Strength one, the Strength free-to-play LR, and he's just missing that link, and if you can see it in his skill set. He's got Cold Judgment instead, pretty much. He's got Fear and Faith, which is fine. They all have Fear and Faith. There's more Future, they all have as well, so you're going perfectly fine there. Fierce Battle, he obviously doesn't have, because he didn't awaken from a Dokkan event. Super Saiyan, he doesn't have, because he's not a Super Saiyan. Nightmare, most of them have as well, so that's pretty good. So you've got Nightmare, you've got Dismal Future, you've got Nightmare, Dismal Future, Fear and Faith. Shattering the Limit is okay, it doesn't really share with any of them. And you got Cold Judgment and Godly Power. Now, Godly Power is not really sitting with any of the Zamasu and Goku Black units. So that's one thing that you need to keep in mind. And then secondly, obviously he doesn't have Big Bad Bosses, which is a big on the starter turn buff to defense and attack, especially if you have them at max level. If you don't have them max level, it's still a big buff overall in the middle of a fight when you might be sitting low, you might need a gamble. It is still a very, very, very powerful buff. Yeah, as you can see here, we are still progressing quite nicely. We're doing pretty well overall. These are probably the best free-to-play cards you can take into the event. I would not suggest taking anything else into the event. I don't think it's worth it. I don't think there are other cards that can carry their weight just yet. The physical UI-San Goku will be able to do a decent job once he's got his awakening, but that won't happen on global yet, at least for another 4 months or so, 4.5 months. So we do just need to keep that in mind. These UI Gokus do pretty well as well without their easy A, but again, they could do slightly better, so we'll see from there. But yeah, so we're now on to the third stage. Everything's gone pretty smoothly. We still have a decent number of items left. We're not sitting, you know, with no items or anything. In this fight, the biggest problem that I tend to have is the Chaozu and the Yamcha, especially the Yamcha. He always tends to hang around a bit, which I don't know if it's just me ignoring him from all the memes, or if, you know, it's just out of habit, but yeah. Yamcha is not someone to be ignored. I actually highly suggest you remove Yamcha and Chaozu first, and then just control up the TN and the Krillin. The reason being is the tech units are a big danger to our units like Whis, Rose, Wesker. Even though she gets her guard, she could get supered before it occurs. And we don't have a lot of, you know, control for this wider range of units. The other unit that will pose a problem is Krillin. That's why I seal Krillin, because obviously he can do a very intense amount of damage to our UI Gokus, to our Vados. You know, he is a problem. But beyond that, there's not too much that I would say you need to do in order to guarantee the win here. A team like this will perform pretty well and should you be able to add any cards in or drop out a rotation and maybe add a stronger one, you're not going to have any problem with this category SBR at all. You can see we're just popping our items here. We're trying to keep up our health. We haven't done much damage just yet, but that's okay, because essentially what we're doing is we are just trying to control their numbers and whittle away at them. The Goku LR here is going to dish out some decent damage to Krillin, which, you know, is pretty good. And hopefully once we get rid of Krillin and we manage to get rid of Yamcha or Chaozu, we only have 2 enemies left and we'll be able to control the fight a bit easier. The main problem with a lot of these fights, especially when you're fighting multiple enemies, is that you just lack a significant amount of control that's necessary to take on the stage. So yeah, definitely perfectly fine as is so far. We will see how we go this turn. I think this Goku takes you see, he just takes quite a bit of damage. And it's not his own fault. He gains on elimination. Like, if he was able to kill this Krillin, he would be perfectly fine. But he just does. Look, he's taking some big damage. Luckily, we have a decent health pool with this team, but he took some really big shots there, which, you know, isn't great in the long run, because it's not gonna help us. Yeah, those tech units are hitting hard. That's ultimately the issue with this free-to-play team, is in terms of the Realm of the Gods category, they just don't, this team that's got a couple free-to-play units and that's a bit wonky, they just lack a lot of the offense and defense capabilities of some of the better cards. You know, we're talking some real premium cards in the Realm of the Gods category. We've got AGL Zamasu, we've got, you know, the Tech Jiren, we've got the SBKK Goku, we've got the Agility Vegeta, we've got, you know, the Ceiling Goku, we've got the Beerus's, we've got Toppo, the Strength Toppo, we've got Int LROs, we've got a whole bunch of LRs, we've got the Extreme Merge Zamasu, Easy A support / debuffing unit. There's a lot of options that you can take that are just better than some of the ones we've got here. And if you build into a certain sector team as well, you're just going to have a better time overall. So yeah, definitely think about when you're building the team. Are you going for a Zamasu Goku Black theme team? Will you be going for more of the Beerus's and the Cars? Or will you be going for like a USS kind of hybrid team? But there's still plenty of units you could rock from any of them. You could rock the Gogeta, the Gogeta, the Vegeta. You could rock a whole bunch of units. So yeah, there's no worry or don't stress. You can just go and proceed as normal. But now, I think, obviously, as we're getting there, in terms of the Vados and everything, we're going to manage to eventually finally seal up and control the Chaozu. We need to take out the Krillin, which we'll eventually get to now. And we've already lessened the enemies, we just have a lot more control over the fight. Whis has the ability to stun. He hasn't really shown it this video that much, but Whis' ability to stun can be pretty crucial for some of these SBR runs. He's going to obviously help out. We also didn't manage to get his heal as well, and his evasion to kick in, which is also a bit unfortunate because it would have saved us a couple items. But those are two factors that he does have, that even though they haven't been displayed as much as we'd like in this stage, he definitely does have them, and I do suggest you obviously keep that in mind when you are running stages, that Whis does have extra utility that he could bring to the setting. So here we're gonna take the AGL Goku Rose, and we're going to hit the Tien. He's obviously stacked his defense enough. We're going to finish with Krillin with the Strength Goku Black, because we obviously want the 20% extra stats to kick in for him, which is really going to help him get through the rest of the match. And then we have Wesker coming in at the end. She'll be fine as long as she takes one hit. Yeah, and she's fine. But she only had one hit to take, so nothing too crazy about that. Whis, at this point, as you can see, defense is looking very nice. He gets a lot of buffs from Vados, basically everything but the Universe 6 one. They link up pretty good as well. 4 links there, which is, pretty solid as well. One of them being Connoisseur, which is a healing link. It's very powerful. And yeah, they just have a decent link set, and obviously he gets quite a decent amount of buffs from her. So hopefully we're going to get Whis to stun up the TN here. He won't take any damage anyway, even if he got hit by the Tech Yamcha at this point. He's just got that high a set of defense. And then we will have the Vados seal up the Yamcha. Just so that if, he does manage to, attack or anything, we don't take, a big old super on anyone that we don't want to take a super on. So there we go. We've stunned Tien, sealed Yamcha. We have a lot of control over the fight now. We'll use the Int Gokus to take out the Yamcha, and we'll basically just focus everyone else in on the Tien, so that we can try to clean him out as quickly as possible. This rotation is now working pretty fine. Obviously their defense has now gotten to the point after taking so many hits that it's very, very reliable. The strength Goku Black as well also has, quite a decent amount of stats. Now I'm not going to say super high, but that one elimination really did help stretch him out and just get him a lot higher in terms of stats. You can see here he's coming in for the Yamcha. We managed to get the crit, and then he goes in and gets the 12 key on the TN. He's now gotten 40% or so extra stats from this fight, so yeah, he's done pretty well overall. He took quite a bit of damage at one turn, and he's not the tankiest, and unfortunately not having big bad bosses is going to be a problem for that. But he can link with some pretty good units, like Int Zamasu, and him being a pairing could be very good. Int Zamasu has damage reduction, and they both share Cold Judgment, which is a defense link. So all of a sudden you might be looking at a lot better defensive pairing than as given here. But this is going to be it. We're not going to suffer any damage. As you can see, we took a super attack there, but Whis' defense is so high, and he's got type advantage that it didn't matter. And we're going to clear the stage. So yeah, overall a pretty good run. We didn't use any of the super big Realm of the Gods cards, which is pretty good. We did manage to use 2 free-to-play cards as well. So I'm very happy with this run. We do have a couple of items left, and I think we controlled the fights pretty well considering the lack of damage that we had. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll catch you in the next one. But until then, cheers, stay safe, and bye.